it leaves having entered that body. When it departs, it takes the sensory powers along with it and goes out. Now, this soul that has departed, in order for it to see again, in order to hear again, to eat again, and for all its new experiences, it needs a new body. So, what Ishvara does is, he does not give it independently. I gave you intellect, did not I? What were you thinking about at the very end? Did you think about this or not? How can you say no? Taste and smell. He gives a body according to whatever that smell is based on. That is why Heyopadeya Varjita is a name for the goddess in the Lalita Sahasranama Stotram. They stabilize it in that departure, classifying it without explaining the paths or the reasons behind it. The soul departs in 4 ways when it leaves. The very first one, while it is departing like that, is called Artha Chinta. Artha Chinta means attachment to one's own people, and that is why Krishna Paramatma came. You are crazy, man, saying you will die, you will die. Everyone who dies is born again because of these attachments and hatreds. He comes back through attachment. How does he come? His obsession with his money. He will keep wandering around where all that money is, meaning he becomes a creature with a horizontal spine. Wealth, grain, riches and gold, or maybe some property documents. Because of the obsession remaining on such things, he becomes one with venom in his body and comes back with a horizontal spine, you see, and he comes and sits right there where he hid them. That is what he feared at the end. What would happen to that money? What would happen to that money? What would happen to that money? He will come right under where that iron safe is. It is dark there, is not it? He comes there. Sometimes someone will be opening the cupboard. He gets scared. Oh no, I have earned so much. I wanted to give it to my son. That fool gave the keys to him. Worried he might go to some corner, he quickly rushes out and stings him right on that leg. From there, he screams, "Scorpion, scorpion." Then the son and daughter-in-law bring a broom, drag it out and kill it with a slipper. That worry ends right there. This is called Artha Chinta. A person's mind goes after taste and smell, taste and smell, taste and smell, and eventually it gets stuck on something. He ends up in a lowly state suitable for that. Such attractions exist. The second one is Raudra Chinta, which is the complete opposite. I lost the money I was supposed to get because of him. My wealth was ruined because of him. He took away my happiness and my joy. Even then, the mind clings to that same thing. It keeps thinking about him. That is Raudra Chinta. Now, because he clings to it so much, even before dying, the mind is so used to it that he leaves this world thinking only about him. With fierce thoughts, he goes to ruin him. He goes to bite him as a snake, a scorpion, or a centipede. He goes and sits there to kill him. With fierce thoughts, he becomes a beast. Leaving this body, his spine will no longer grow vertically. He becomes a creature whose spine grows horizontally. Those that grow horizontally can no longer act with intellect. That is the sign. Being a beast means if the spine is horizontal, there is no intellect. Then, as a beast, driven by fierce thoughts, he sits where he holds enmity against someone. The third is Shukla Chinta. Shukla Chinta means the deep yearning for the scriptures. Oh, when will I ever get to know all these things in my lifetime? When will I ever find the time to read the Bhagavad Gita? And when will I be able to read the Ramayana? In my entire life, will I truly manage to read all 24,000 verses without skipping even a single one? Reading the Ramayana very carefully, word by word, reading the commentary and the meaning of all 24,000 verses. Did I read them with the utmost respect, dignity and devotion? I have not read it. Have I read all 18 Parvas of the Mahabharata? I am already over 50 years old now, and I still have not read those 18 Parvas of books. Did I read the 12 Skandhas of the Bhagavata? Never in my entire life have I read them. I have not read any of these scriptures. Where would you even get wisdom from? If you do not know the Shastras, how can you even know what is right or wrong? If you do not even know the truth, how can your life be redeemed? There is no hope for salvation anymore. So now he is worried. Oh no, I have not looked into any of this. I could not understand anything at all. I do not know any of this. I never sat with a guru, never learned, never practiced, never even listened. Oh my God, what have I done? What is this lifespan anyway? If you live for 70 years, you do not really know anything until you are 20. From 20 to 40, you are just chasing desires and distractions. From 50 to 70, those 20 years are full of worry, and the remaining 10 years, we have held on to all the useless things. The child is busy playing, the youth is busy with romance, the old are busy with worries, no one is devoted to the Supreme. When do I ever have time? No. How ruined I have become. When will I ever study? He thought. Instead of worrying about his children, he looked at those books and cried with tears in his eyes, saying, I did not understand this when I read it. In the days when there were great souls to teach me, I never went. I never learned, I never studied, I never understood, I never practiced. And finally, I am just passing away like this. This body, this intellect, this education, and this mind given by God, all these talents have become useless. Oh God, how will I ever improve? He cried as he left. Now, do you know what God does? That is called Shukla Chinta. The one who left crying like that, God makes him be born as the son of a great sage, a great scholar, a great practitioner, living according to the Vedic standards. He makes him be born to a great scholar. Once born, he initiates him into Gayatri, makes him perform Sandhya Vandanam, and the father sits him down without needing a book. He just keeps on teaching his son like that, That is it. Learning all these rituals from his father and listening to all the Vedanta from him as well, he gained a very sharp intellect and lived his life exactly as prescribed by the Vedas, just like that. And finally, he fixes his body in the Lord, moves upward, pierces the Brahmarandra through yoga, and then he departs. So, he could not go in this birth, but he will definitely merge into the Lord in his next life. Shukla Chinta becomes the reason for that. There is one final thought, and its name is Dhanya Chinta. You see, this leads one towards spiritual practice. A proper guru will be found for him. Once found, the freedom to sit and listen to that guru will be established for him. Once established, he listens with rapt attention. He examines what he has heard very thoroughly indeed and attains detachment. With that detachment, whether in daily rituals or in joy and sorrow, he becomes a mere witness. He does not get disturbed at all. He gains wisdom from it. Through that wisdom, in this very life, he moves upward, pierces the crown of the head and goes out. He will not enter another womb or return to a body again, but instead he merges into the divine. Therefore, the mind is the cause of all these four things. That is why the mind alone is the cause of bondage and liberation for humans. Now tell me, God is not the cause of your rebirth. The actions you perform are not the cause of your rebirth either. Do you know why? Ramana Maharshi says action is inert. What does action actually do? Action cannot uplift you. Suppose I perform 108 circumambulations around a temple. Rather than the tiny bit of merit I might get from doing those 108 circumambulations, if while doing those 108 rounds, my mind clings to things it should not, looks at things it should not, in ways it should not, and becomes degraded and commits sin, then this inert body has moved 108 times. But where has the mind been purified? That is why reforming the mind is very, very difficult. There is only one single way to reform the mind, and that is listening to the scriptures from a guru, examining the scriptures well, and studying the scriptures thoroughly. There are no other ways besides these two. Just as tamarind is the only way to remove rust, the guru's teaching is the only way to remove it. If you do that, you yourself will become the master of what body you should be given in your future lives. A wise man is not deluded by the change of body. At that point, he does not worry or feel anxious at all. Whatever he focuses his thoughts on, he will get a suitable body accordingly. Since the scriptures are the authority, why worry if this body is falling away? Why be anxious? Now, if I stay true to my duty, I have no fear about what must happen. But if I abandon my duty and falter in my dharma, then I will face a strange kind of fear. It will come. Arjuna is failing his duty as a warrior. Krishna says, you coward, you weakling, get up. This petty weakness of heart, cast it off and arise. O scorcher of foes, why this weakness? Get up. So why do you keep crying that they will die, they will die? This cowardice, this fear of death is exactly what it is. Do you know what it finally does to you? As long as you live, you are stuck in obsessions. And in the end, just to stay in that obsession, you end up dying with the fear of rebirth. Constantly thinking, I am dying, I am dying, I am dying. Because you live with such worry and cowardice. You enter the dark, smoky southern path. And in your next life, you will face many more blows and hardships. You will suffer agonies and enter a life with a horizontal spine. Will not you be a brave man? A brave man has no fear at all. He only inquires about the scriptures. Bravo, it is falling, it is over, it is falling now. A flower turns into powder. It came as a flower and is turning into powder. The powder became a bud. The bud became a fruit and it fell. A caterpillar became a butterfly. The day change began was the day my death began. So the body falls. That is its nature. It is falling, it is falling. But I should not go into something base. I must go into something better. And I am the one responsible for going there. I will stand based on what I do. When I say I am the doer, it does not mean doing whatever I feel like doing. It is not my whim. It is not about doing whatever anyone says. The scripture is the authority. What God said is the only authority. What God said is the Veda, and the Veda is the authority. So the Upanishads are an integral part of those Vedas. And the Bhagavad Gita is the essences of those Upanishads. So you should study the scriptures to understand what God has said, what the Vedas have said, what the Upanishads have said, and what the scriptures have said. And what a teacher who is truly well versed in the scriptures has said. If you keep that in mind and start your inquiry, then what kind of habit should someone who has heard the Bhagavad Gita develop for themselves? Just as the soul passes through childhood, youth, and old age in this body, it then enters another body. So if I leave this body, I will simply enter another one. So there is no need for any fear. I will refine my mind. From today, I will turn my mind toward what it should hold on to. This is the practice that I will follow. Taming this stubborn horse of a mind. Only a few people have the wisdom to tame it. In the Mahabharata, it is said about Arjuna that he can tame even the wildest horses. Similarly, if you can tame your mind, if you can free yourself from all that useless and unnecessary stinginess, if you can free yourself from useless desire, and if you can transform your desire into a pure desire for God, if you do all your actions solely for the pleasure and satisfaction of God, if you gain God's favor through that, and if you get used to living always to please the Lord in everything you do, then on that day, whatever you do will not be for your own gratification. It is not for your own greatness. If a maid sweeps the house, why does she do it? She thinks, will my master be happy? Will the master say, you have cleaned the house so well? She washed the clothes. How well you washed this dhoti? I sat and performed puja. Because of the puja, the whole dhoti got stained with turmeric. If the master says, you washed it so well that not even a single turmeric stain is left, she feels happy. Like a maid who does everything for her master's pleasure, you should not do the things you do for your own self-glory. Whatever work you do, you should do it for the pleasure of God. And the only way to please God is through righteousness and dharma. Do it and offer it to God. Say, God, you are the one who made me do this. You made me blessed. Father, I offer all the fruits of this to Lord Uma Maheshwara. If you can stand like that, there is always a master who is watching you. He gives the final judgment. So if I get used to living for his pleasure, Shankara says, in the Vairagya Shatakam, look at the housemaid when she is about to leave at the very end. People working in an office leave when office time is up. But a housemaid does not just leave because time is up. She says, ma'am, I am leaving now. The lady asks if this or that is done, and she says, yes ma'am, that is done, this is done. There is a small task. Someone sent mangoes and about 50 need to be sliced. Ma'am, I will come an hour early this evening to slice them. My child is at home crying with a fever, so I must leave now, ma'am. Fine, go then, but come early this evening. If the child's fever gets worse, do not come. It is okay even if you do not come. I will slice them myself. If the mistress says that, then she leaves. Even while leaving, like a servant who asks for permission before departing, while leaving this body, oh Lord, being compassionate, and out of affection for me, you gave me this mind to wash away the sins committed by the mind, and this body to wash away the sins committed by the body, and this body and this speech to wash away the sins committed by speech. You combine these three, place the soul in this body, and you gave this to me. I have been as careful as I possibly could be. I believe I have earned your grace. If I have knowingly or unknowingly violated the scriptures here and there and committed offenses with these, then, Father, forgive me. I am coming into the cage of your feet. If one leaves this body with such supreme devotion, the Lord will merge that person into himself. He has become pure thought, or rather, he is in a state of blessed contemplation or a most exalted birth. That is why, do you know what happens sometimes? When pure contemplation solidifies, even without the intervention of a guru, knowledge comes on its own in that very birth. But out of billions and billions and billions of people, he is the only exception. He is not the ideal though. How can someone who was never a disciple teach the world how to be a master? Somewhere out there, out of billions, there is that one person who attained salvation without a guru. But he cannot be your ideal because you have not reached that level yet. If you had reached that level, you would have stayed that way anyway. No. So you must seek a guru. It just will not work if you say you will not seek a guru at all. By seeking a guru, by seeking the scriptures, and by strengthening the mind through all that, attaining a good body, and in future lives, being carefully liberated from all sins with that body, one must try to reach Ishwar once again. The kid studied for 12 months. No, not 12. He studied for 24 months. Why 24? He studied for 36 months. Why do they study so hard for 10th class? Because if they get 96% in 10th class, they will be put in the intermediate star batch. Since he studied well in 10th grade, he was put in the intermediate star batch. He sat in a class where great lecturers taught. For 24 months, without even watching a cricket match, he worked consistently with a stopwatch, focusing entirely on correctly answering 180 questions in just 90 minutes. Now, he has gone for the MSET exam. How much you practiced in the previous 36 months does not matter as much as how you focus during these 2 or 3 hours allowed by the government. Because your life's peace and happiness depends solely on that focus. No matter how well you studied, if your focus shifted to the songs playing on a loudspeaker nearby during those 2 hours, you will not get a seat in an engineering college that offers campus placements. You will end up studying in an ordinary engineering college, come out with a degree in hand, go to every office asking for a job, and finally, if you do not get a job, you will have to work at a Xerox center for 1,000 rupees with your BTech degree. All because you did not use those 3 hours. If you had used it, you too would have studied engineering in an institute with 100% campus selection, and as soon as you came out of that engineering college, you would have become a prominent and great engineer in that firm. A girl from a great family known for her beauty, who could have longed for you, became your wife. Because you got such a beautiful wife. You had such beautiful children. Because you have such a great father-in-law, such a great father, and such great wealth. You have prospered so much in life. The reason for all this is that you were careful and focused during those 3 hours. The human birth given by God is also like those 3 hours sitting for EMCET. Do not think that 70 years of age is a very long life. 70 years of age is very little compared to some other things. When you go to Sabarimala, you see trees. There are trees that have been around for 5,000 to 6,000 years. In some places, there are trees that have been there for 10,000 years. In some places, if these carpets that are hidden away in the house are not eaten by ants, they will last for 3 or 4 generations. In some houses, the copper boilers used for boiling water. The copper boilers used for boiling drinking water or for boiling hot water, they say my great-grandfather or someone before him bought this boiler. You do not have the lifespan that this boiler has. Your lifespan is very short. In that short time, the time you need to focus on the scriptures is being wasted for no reason. The time spent worrying is going to waste. Only a little time is left for spiritual practice. Have you become distressed because of that? With the constant fear of death, you will leave this body and you will become an animal. Once you become an animal, they will trap and kill you, or they will slaughter you with knives and kill you. They will stab you with spears, beat you with sticks, or throw stones to kill you. You will not even have the freedom to just die. There is no chance for him to do any good deeds. Come, once he lets go of this, it is all over. He can no longer hold cow's milk and chant Namasteyastu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Trayambakaya Tripurantakaya Tripura Agni Kalaya Kalagni Rudraya and perform the ritual bath. You are only here for a while, and you do not know for how long, until Ishvara's decree. If you make good use of every moment, your future lives will be good. Otherwise, he will just keep wandering like that. Tadadehantara praptihi, changing so many bodies. Ishvara keeps giving chances, saying, let it be. Clear that karma. Clear it. So do you know why this body is given? It is another chance to clear the karma you have done. You committed a sin back then, so now experience it as suffering and get rid of it. You kick them on their knees, so in this life, suffer from knee pain. You snatched away someone's plate while they were eating. In this life, you will have sugar and BP. You cannot eat chutney rice, you cannot eat a laddu. He will snatch your plate away. At least to get rid of the sins committed in the past, by taking this body in this life, if you say, thank God, the sin from some past life is gone, the misery is over, Ishvara, you have removed my sin through these hardships with so much love. So, this body is the reason your sins are washed away. But if you think that wretched God only gave me trouble, then you will just fall in another sin. That is why Ishvara did that. And so, in rebirth, he removes the memories of a soul's past life entirely and only kept the power to observe the current states. This is the great generosity of Ishvara. Unless you recognize Ishvara's generosity, you cannot stand firm in dharma with devotion, and yoga will not be attained. That is why the verse must be interpreted that way. So every single verse in the Bhagavad Gita is like a pot of nectar. It is a guiding light for us that can nourish the knowledge needed for a person to be liberated. Alright, I have gone over by 15 minutes today, have not I? Today, there is a dance program back there, the Krishna Leelas. Krishna is the teacher of the world, is not he? So, the dance drama called Krishna Leelas is about to begin. Everyone, please sit comfortably. And do not think, you just say that and leave every day. Do not think, what, you are only going to sit for 5 minutes? If I have something more important to do, only then do I leave like that. Otherwise, I would not. If not for that, I would have followed the decorum of the assembly and practiced what I told you myself. So after this, please watch the dance performance, encourage those artists and enjoy it. May you be happy. Mangalashasana paraihi madacharya purogamaihi sarvaiya parvairacharaihi satkritayastu mangalam. Mangalam kosalendraya mahaniya gunatmane chakravarthi tanujaya sarvabhaumaya mangalam. Umakantaya kantaya kamitardha pradayin Shrigirishaya davaya malinadhaya mangalam. Karacharana kritam va karmavakaidam va sravananainajam va manasam va paradham vihitamahitam va sarvamittakshamasva shiva shiva karunabdhe Sri Mahadeva Shambho. Sarvam Shri Umamaheshwara Parabrahmarpanamastu. Swasti. Yesterday, I was telling you about how Lord Shri Krishna, while speaking to Arjuna, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra anumuhyati. I spoke about the philosophy he proposed regarding that particular verse. He says the words from the verse, Vasamsi jernani yatha vihaya navani guhnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirna anyani samyati navani dehi. He says, it is such a wonderful shloka. Well, the whole Bhagavad Gita is just like that. For someone who keeps this deep in their mind, it is truly a great comfort and courage in life. It is a message about how one should lead their life. Between a beginning and an end, a resolve and clarity about the way it should be utilized will emerge. Vasamsi jernani yatha vihaya navani grahnati naroparani. Perhaps no one else can give a more beautiful or simpler analogy than this. He said that Dehi is within. Dehi means I,
the soul, or when that soul experiences oneness with the Supreme, the union of Jiva and Brahma is the only reality. That existing substance is putting it on. What is it putting on? The soul has put on the body. The soul exists. Since the body was put on, it will be discarded. Just as a person discards worn out clothes and takes on new ones, man is taking them. You must understand the depth of the words in that. Who is taking it? It is the individual soul taking the body. It is not something God forced upon you.
God does not say that you must take this body.
In the creation of the body, or in the matter of giving you this body, God has no personal urge or a state where he feels he must give it.
He has no need to give it, and he does not give it. He is not independent in that matter, and he has no need for it.
Who takes it? Well, we are the ones who take it. He is giving an analogy for how we take it. Now, I keep leaning towards this false I. And this false I is actually this body. In reality, this body is just like a garment I have worn, similar to the clothes worn by the soul. So, I have put on this garment. Thinking about this garment I am wearing, oh, I came here wearing this. I gave a discourse in this. I taught the Bhagavad Gita. Why should I take this off? Even after going home, I do not keep this garment on. Or even if I do keep it, I might keep it until it gets dark. I will take these clothes off when I have my snack. I will take them off, and if needed, I will bathe again, put on another light garment, have my snack, and then go to sleep. I will not wear the same clothes I slept in tomorrow morning. I will take those off and put on another set. I am leaving behind all these clothes. You should recognize that the cloth is not touching me and the cloth is not leaving me. In both these cases, the cloth has no freedom at all. In my house, there might be a stack of dhotis in my cupboard that I need to wear, but not a single one of those dhotis will ever get up on its own and say, Koteswara Rao Garu, we will come with you for the Bhagavad Gita today. We will be bound to you. It is entirely my freedom to choose which dhoti I should wear. Whichever dhoti I pick up, I will wear that one. Whenever I want to leave it, I will leave that dhoti. Sometimes after wearing it, if I see a problem, and it could be for any reason at all, maybe while washing or while drying, or because some bird made a mess, a stain appears on it. Oh no, we had ironed this and kept it ready. It is good we did not take it to some other town. But as for the cloth I wore, what is this, sir? Did you not see such a big stain? It is like we just quickly take off one cloth and put on another cloth. Now, whether I am wearing that cloth or taking it off, I am the one wearing it, I am the one taking it off. The cloth itself has no freedom. I wear it and I take it off. And there is only one reason why I wear it and take it off. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. If it is worn out, you just leave it. Here, Lord Krishna takes the meaning of the word leaving to the extent of me stopping the use of it altogether. If I am leaving it, if I am stopping its use completely, it means now, even if I take off this dhoti, there is a chance to wear it again. Because it goes to the laundry, they wash it, they iron it, it comes back, and I put it back in my shelf. And whenever I feel like wearing it, or if it is God's will that I should wear it, then I will take that dhoti from the shelf. But if I say I will not wear this dhoti anymore, and I take it and throw it away outside, suppose from the very next moment after I throw it away, that cloth will never be wrapped around my body again. It will not be worn. I have given it up. I gave up that dhoti because it was worn out. And by worn out, I mean it was frayed, it was torn, and it was shredded. That is the reason I left it. Actually, in the Vedas, there is a section called Patala Panam. It says that if a cloth is torn or has a hole, or if a spark falls on it and it gets burnt, or if it has no border, the scriptures do not allow wearing such a cloth. One should not wear such a garment. Therefore, the Vedas say that if someone stands before God wearing such a cloth, they are considered to be standing there completely naked. So, since such a worn out cloth should no longer be worn, discarding it does not mean throwing it away. Just because I have many other dhotis, it is because that dhoti is no longer fit for me to perform Vedic rituals. The dhoti was fine, but some ash from an incense stick fell on it. Because of that, it got a few holes in it. Even if it has just a few holes, I have to give up that garment. Maybe someone else could take it from me, like a student of mine who might want to wear it because their teacher wore it. To him, it might be a new garment, but for me, it is no longer useful for Vedic rituals, so I will cast it aside. Just as I have decided that it is no longer of any use to me, and I have discarded that garment, vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani garnati naroparani. When I say I have discarded that garment, there is immediately another point. In this world, you do not just discard a garment without having another one. Because without any covering on the body, not even for a single moment should anyone remain. The Veda does not accept it. Even while bathing, one must have a bathing cloth on the body. One must bathe wearing a bathing cloth. But being without even a single thread on the body is something that is accepted at only one specific time. The body he came with. When that body is once again making its great departure from this world, they do not keep any kind of covering on it. Everything, including the sacred thread, must be removed. Everything is taken off, and only the body is laid upon the wooden pyre. Except for any specific reason, a person should never be seen naked without even a single thread on their body. That is why during the Snatakam ceremony in a wedding, the Guru says that never, ever will I be seen without clothes on my body, taking a vow. Because it is considered inauspicious, like death itself. So, if I leave one garment, the sign is that there is another garment already ready for me to wear. The very next moment I leave this one, I will put on that other garment. The time interval between leaving this garment and putting on that other garment, it is very small. It is very short. It is extremely short. Otherwise, me being without any clothes at all only happens when I am leaving this body for good. It only stays like that for a little while, when the body is completely leaving this world. Therefore, in my leaving one garment because it is worn out and taking up another new garment, there is no delay. The garment itself has no role at all in this. It is my doing, as if it is my doing. Here I am wearing this dhoti. I will take off this dhoti and come back wearing another one tomorrow evening, and I will still be here. Yesterday I wore a different dhoti, and I was there then too. The dhoti is gone, but I am still here. The dhoti has changed, but I remain just the same. The body too. What the soul does is, the being inside just leaves this body behind. It leaves it and keeps taking on a brand new body again. Now, there is one thing here that you need to observe very carefully. Is it mentioned anywhere in this verse that someone else takes it and gives a new body? It is nowhere. Even the Gita Acharya himself did not say that the one who gave this will take it back, or that he will take it and give you a new garment in return. Lord Krishna is the manifestation of the Supreme Brahman, the complete incarnation. Even such a Krishna did not say that Ishvara gives you this body, or that Ishvara takes this body away from you, and that Ishvara gives you another new body once again. Just as a person discards worn out clothes and puts on new ones, so the soul discards worn out bodies and enters into new ones. He said the Dihi takes them. Dihi is not Ishvara, it is the soul. The state
where the soul becomes one with Ishvara, is different. That knowledge and maturity are different. We are the ones who are taking it. We are the ones leaving this, and we are the ones taking this. What is that, sir? You say it is like that in the Gita, and you quote that verse, which is right, but why would we ever want to leave this body? We would not leave it at all. We want to stay in this body. Why would we ever want to leave it? No. Leaving this body is not about whether we like it or not. We are the reason for leaving it. It is because of us that the body falls, and because of us that it stands. You might ask why. For the body to fall, to take a body, for it to fall again, and to take a body again, the only reason is karma. Whatever karma we perform, it is always leaving behind a result. It keeps giving some result as it goes. Now, we have to experience this result. To experience it, we need a body. If there is no body, how will you experience it? Is it even possible? Try to understand this a bit carefully. Suppose I have performed a virtuous deed. I did something good, something that helps 10 people, or maybe I performed a ritual prescribed by the scriptures. I climbed the 7 hills on foot to seek Lord Venkateswara's blessings. Back then, I earned some merit. Now, I have to experience the results of that merit. The result of this merit is happiness. It is joy. Happiness is something that makes the mind feel delighted. Like, oh man, it feels so wonderful to the heart. In that form of happiness, I experienced the fruits of my virtuous deeds and actions. I committed a sin. I walked around the Venkatachala mountain wearing my sandals, which I should not have done. Now, I must also experience the consequences of that sinful act of walking on the Venkatachala mountain with my sandals on. Then, in my records, for some reason, maybe in a future life, a fire breaks out and my feet get burned, blistered, and bandaged up for a long time. For a while, I must reach a state where I cannot even put my feet down to walk. That is the sin I committed. Sin must be cleared through suffering. Merit must be cleared through happiness. Now, to experience this happiness or suffering, God has given you only one mind to feel it all. If you give the mind but not the body, will it work? Where would you even put that mind if you brought it? How would you experience it? I have done some good deeds, and I must enjoy the happy results of those deeds. Now, if I want to enjoy those happy results, what must I have? I must have a body. While you all sit down there, I have this huge stage just for me to sit on by myself. Since I am the one sitting here, I get all these garlands. And because I am sitting here, all of you are remaining silent. Since I am the only one speaking, there is a mic just so everyone can hear my words clearly. This is called being honored by the assembly. It means gaining the stature to speak to so many people. Why did I get this stature? It is because in my past lives, I must have given some books to someone else. I must have sat someone down and told them a few good things I knew, wanting those things to be useful to them. There is some good deed that I have done. Now, through that good deed, I must receive this honor called being respected by the assembly here. Suppose I get that, then the merit I earned is gone. It is over. So now some merit is used up. If we had only done one good deed, they would not give this body. You need to catch what I am saying now very carefully. Suppose you have only done good deeds, it is not the body that does it. Only the soul inside does the good deeds. This body just does whatever he says. If the soul has only merit and no touch of sin at all, then just experiencing pleasure is enough. So, without any hunger or thirst, drinking nectar, to always experience pleasure and be happy, they make you be born as gods in the higher worlds. I have done sin and I have done merit. Now I must experience both sin and merit. They give this body, they give this human body. What happens is that it lasts for some time in the form of a lifespan.
How long you are meant to stay here in this world is decided by the Lord in the form of breaths. He calculates your lifespan in the form of those breaths. He gives the soul a body and sends it, saying, I am giving you the authority to take this many breaths. You have the results of your past actions, both merit and sin, and you must experience both. Now, He has given you this body. During this particular time, He lived during a certain period of time. But in fact, He does not specify an exact date of birth or a date of death. You stay from your very first breath until your very last breath. That is your count. That is what is called Chitragupta. Chitragupta means, who counts these breaths? The Lord sits right here and keeps counting them. It is called Anahata. Anahata means something that cannot be stopped by anyone. It will not stop if you try to stop it, and it will not keep going if you tell it not to stop. That is why it is called Anahata. This Anahata is like a bell. The sign that your vision of the Lord has begun in the temple is that the bell must ring. There is no offering without a bell ringing, no vision of God without a bell ringing. So a bell keeps ringing because He is sitting right here, constantly counting. It keeps beating like lub-dub, lub-dub, lub-dub. He sits there and keeps track of every single breath you take in and every breath you let out. He knows when you have taken this breath and do not need to release it anymore. As soon as He leaves, the bell stops. You have taken this breath and do not need to let it go. He steps down and it just stops. So, Ishvara is the one who counts your breaths and grants you your lifespan. He sits right here. For this long, you will exist as these many breaths. That is why they say, make hay while the sun shines. It means while this breath is still moving, while this bell is ringing, while Ishvara is still here, do the good deeds you need to do. Once He leaves, there will be no more opportunity to do anything. It just becomes a corpse. So hurry up and worship the Lord with every single breath you take. That is why, while performing Shiva Abhishekam, we chant the Mahanyasam, Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahi, Parama Hamsaya Dhimahi, Thanno Hamsa Prachodayat. That breath takes the form of Hamsa. Those are the sounds Ha and Sa. That is why when Purusha Suktam begins, it goes Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasrakshaha, Sahasrapat. And when Sri Suktam begins, it goes Hiranya Varnam Harinim, Suvarna Rajatas Rajam. When those sounds Ha and Sa come together auspiciously, they become Saha, Hasa, Hamsa. They say that Hamsa is moving. While this Hamsa is moving, you must let go of all mental impurities. And you must keep moving towards performing divine deeds. If you can achieve purity of mind and gain knowledge through it, then Jnanat Devatu Kaivalyam. So with this body, you can either earn merit or you can commit sins. You can experience virtue, you can experience sin. To make you experience both, God gives you this body. When God gives this body, He does not give it happily thinking, let us give Him this. There is only one reason for Him to give it. Parashara Bhattar, while writing Sri Gunaratna Kosham, says one thing, Yadrubhangam. Aha pramanam sthirachara rachana taratamye murare. Lord Brahma takes this soul and puts it into another skull. It could be an ant skull, a fly skull, or a cow skull. I saw a photo in the paper today. They posted a photo of a dead turtle somewhere on the seashore. Its skull is visible. It has a skull. Holding that skull and putting the soul into it, before deciding what to give him, Brahma looks at mother. Brahma's mother is Lakshmi Devi. He looks at her and asks, Mother, this skull used to wander with this name in the past. What do you want me to do? Yada bhrubhangaha pramanamam sthirachara rachana taratamya murarehe. Lakshmi says, oh, this skull, oh my. How hard he worked. He used his body for the sake of the scriptures. According to the scriptures, if she says this, they give him a superior body. If the goddess says chi, he is a wicked man and lowers her eyebrow like this. than a creature with a horizontal spine. Or they give a life as a creature that twists and turns without a spine at all. A cause of fear, like seeing a snake. They give such a birth. Therefore, whatever karma you have done, that karma itself is the reason for you to obtain a body. Now, if you sit there blaming Ishvara, saying that Ishvara is the one giving the body, you will just keep on getting bodies like that. And if you keep getting them, do you know what the loss is? That is why our people build all the temples on top of hills. Generally, it is considered very great to have a temple on a hill. If a temple is on a hill, it is a sign that it is self-manifested. Only a self-manifested temple is found on a hill. A temple that is not self-manifested can never reach the same level as a consecrated temple, according to the scriptures. Consecrated temple is just that. If it is consecrated by humans, its level is very low. Temples consecrated by sages, demons or deities have a much higher status. The power of a self-manifested shrine is immense in the Vedas. The Veda is the ultimate authority. I am sitting here only to speak about the Vedic authority and not to say whatever I feel like. I cannot speak like that. Therefore, the Lord who is self-manifested everywhere is especially present there. It means He shines there. Is not heat present everywhere? But what about the fire in a gas stove at home? The heat is intense there. Similarly, a place where the Lord manifests and shines brilliantly is called a self-manifested shrine. He appeared on His own. Do you know why it is on top of the hill? Move upward, my friend, climb up the hill, and as you keep climbing higher, you will discover the secret. Your life began just like how these stones are lying here on the ground. Starting from a state of existence where you had neither the authority nor the opportunity to perform any action. You were just there. A stone lives for 100,000 years. But what is the use? It just lies there. It cannot perform any virtuous deed on its own. So when will its form change? It is called inert, meaning it is not that consciousness is absent. Narayana pervades everything inside and out. Narayana is present everywhere. He is within everything. But that stone does not have the power to respond to anything. So it is called inert. Shankaracharya calls it Jadadhiya in Sivananda Lahari. Such an inert stone which lacks the power to respond can do nothing at all. The reason it gets uplifted is because some great soul, while passing by, thinks to himself, oh, let me sit for a while, and then sits on it. After lying there for 100,000 years, it finally changes because a great soul actually had the chance to sit on it. But this is the only birth where you have the opportunity to consciously earn either merit or sin at every single moment of your life. Now you might ask me, but we cannot do that in our sleep, can we? That is why the scripture says you can turn sleep into a meditative state. Before sleeping, chant the name of Shiva 11 times, and that cannot be changed. Because Shiva is the only one who dissolves everything. Sleep is a short-term dissolution. You should not chant any other name. Chant the name of Shiva 11 times before sleeping. But the moment you wake up and open your eyes, the scripture does not allow any other name. Even if Shiva is my family deity, I should not wake up saying Shiva, Shiva. I must say Sri Hari, Sri Hari, Sri Hari 3 times. That should be the first thing that comes from my mouth. You should wake up with the name of Sri Hari and you should go to sleep with the name of Shiva. You have to live your life right in between these two. Then it is entirely up to you. What you desire and how you live depends on your own intellect. But the sages have fixed the name for these 2 times. If I talk about why they did that right now, it will go back to the glory of the name again. So, I will try to stick to the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, now when Ishvara gives you a body and leaves you to it, you can travel in 3 different ways. You can take another body from this body. While taking it, you can take a divine body. Do not say Ishvara gives it. You can attain a divine body. How? You ask. Well, if you perform only meritorious deeds, it is said that you cannot get rid of the sins committed with this body using this very body itself. Among the 63 Nayanars, there was a very elderly man. Wherever he went, it was always physical service.
he would go to the temple and sweep it with a broom. He would carry water and wash the temple. He always served with his body, and through the merit earned by this body, he destroys the sins that were committed by this very body. He is careful not to let any fault arise in his speech, avoiding sins of the tongue. That is why the Upanishad speaks so carefully about words. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat, satyam apriyam, priyam chananrutam bruyat. It says all these things about words. He used speech as a form of penance. Now, he gets rid of the faults that were committed through his words. He made it a habit to always think only pure and holy thoughts with his mind. He got rid of the sins committed with the mind. Now, he went on performing only meritorious deeds through mind, speech and body. These three towards sin, he did not use at all. He lived that carefully, and then he left his body. Now, what Ishvara does is, he sends you into a superior divine body. Now, did Ishvara send you, or was it your karma? It was your karma. Again, you have done both good and bad deeds. I told you yesterday about Shukla Chinta. If you leave while holding that thought, then with those tastes and smells, you will enter a human body capable of studying the scriptures. Everything is a sin. Sins of speech, sins of mind, sins of body, nothing but sin, no merit at all. When one always commits sins, Ishvara makes them an animal, placing the spine horizontally and sending them there. Sir, the sins and merits we did with our body and speech are fine, but are there sins of the mind too? Yes, there are. Just as mental merit brings results, mental sins bring the same results. Just as you are judged for theft, if I steal your things, if I look at something in your house and cry, wishing it were mine, the result is the same. It is treated as if I had stolen it. That is why terms like mental theft and mental adultery exist. So, we must control that mind. If the mind is controlled, the body moves towards virtue. So now, who can even notice the sins committed by this mind? Is not God there as the soul within? The mind shines by the light of the soul. Right? Do you think he does not know what one is doing with their mind? He takes into account even the sins and virtues committed with the mind. So at some point, this body might become useless. But the mind never becomes useless. You can perform Shiva's Abhishekam with your mind. You can have a vision of Venkateshwara Swami with your mind. You can enter a temple with your mind. You can perform a ritual with your mind. That is why Shankara Bhagavad Pada spoke of mental worship. He gave us a whole chapter saying Ratnaikalpita Manasam. So, the one who attains the body is the soul. The soul attains it through its own actions. Hey, if you waste the opportunity given to you by not doing those good deeds, then this raft will burn up, as if you yourself close the path to your salvation. That is why it is called a body. A body is something that is buried in the earth and covered by soil. There are only two ways for this. In the end, you either take it and bury it in the ground, or you take it to the sacred fire and burn it. Only two ways. It will eventually meet one of these two fates. Before that happens, the soul inside you must attain liberation through this body. You should move towards a good path using this as a raft. And if you can do that, your next life will be good. If you are unable to do that, you will take on a body. And what kind of body? Since you have committed so much sin, you can only take on a body that corresponds to it. There is no chance to take another one. You have to take it yourself. You just look at it. There is something called an EMC ET counseling center. They set it up when that counseling is happening. For those with ranks from 1 to 500, they set it on the first day. If those with ranks from 1 to 500 sit in a sequence, when they call the person with the first rank and ask what they want, suppose they ask that. Whatever branch or university seat he wants, they give him exactly what he ticks. Because the karma he created is like that. He worked so hard for 2 years and at the first rank. They give him whatever he asks for. They give him the college he asks for, and he will not ask for some useless college, right? He will obviously ask for a seat in a big branch at some big university. Then there is a final rank, like 70,000 or 80,000. If he comes and says he wants an ECE branch seat at Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad, or JNTU, Kakinada, they will tell him to get lost. In fact, there will be a board there beforehand. None of these are available, no branches are vacant. These are the only ones left for you. What will you take, they ask. You have to take from those. Taking a body based on the karmas a person performs is also just like that. The soul receives it just like that. So, the Supreme Soul is telling you that it is not Ishvara who gives to you. You have abandoned your duty. But the Vedas have told you what you must do. You are a Kshatriya. You must restrain the enemies in front of you and uphold Dharma. Now, if you leave this and take up a Dharma that you do not need, and if you say, oh my, I will get sin if I kill them and abandon your duty, they will put sin in your account. Right now you are Arjuna in this form, but you will not get this again because you left your duty, and that is the sin. So, doing your duty is your merit. Therefore, you should do that. Otherwise, why are you talking about unnecessary things? Why are you talking Vedanta like Patanti Pitaroha Asamlupta Pindodaka Kriya? First, understand what should be done and what should not be done. Understand and then do it, but do not do it without knowing. Even if I know how to fix a fuse, if I climb up the pole to do it, they will just take me away. They will say, this guy is climbing poles, he's climbing electric poles. If a fuse blows in my house, I can fix it myself. Sir, I paid for this pole myself and I know how to fix the fuse. So if I say that is why I climbed it, they will not accept it. You simply do not have the authority to climb up an electric pole and fix a fuse. Unless the scripture says you have the authority to do this work, it is not valid just because you say it is. The scripture is the only authority. If I want to say whether I passed 10th grade or not, the Board of Secondary Education must tell me. Even if I say I know more than what 10th grade students know, I am not considered to have passed 10th grade unless I sit for the exam and they actually give me a certificate. God introduces each authority into each position as a specific manifestation for you to follow. You only have to perform that specific duty, and through that you will attain spiritual maturity. That is all. If you are not capable of doing that, you will face danger. You should not interfere in things that do not concern you. It is just like climbing a pole to fix a fuse. That is all it is. Arjuna, you are taking on a duty that is not yours. You are saying all these unnecessary things about killing them, but who exactly are you going to kill? If you kill the body, he will just take on another one. The soul has no death at all. So what is it that you are even killing? What is it that dies within you? You say you will die if Duryodhana comes and stabs you with a sword. Do you even know what dies and what remains immortal? What are you even talking about? Your intellect has been clouded by delusion. So you should not speak like this. Bodies come into existence in time and they fall away in time. But the dweller within the body does not fall. The dweller always remains just as he is throughout time. The I that is inside exists while this body is here. And even after this body falls, it will go into another body and continue to exist. Then it performs actions with that body. Even then, the I remains. It is just the body that keeps changing. Now, do you know why he said this? If you can carefully grasp the secret hidden within this